Yeah, so good morning, Sarah. Thanks for joining us this morning. As I said, this is a really good way for us to discuss with some of our members from the Lichfield and Tamworth chain of point of view. In your case, Tamworth, with Christopher's in Aldergate in the centre of Tamworth. Really, this is a series about us speaking to some of our members that are due to reopen or have partially reopened or are really starting to hopefully come out of this crisis with a new way of working. For those of you who don't know, Sarah is the owner and manager and runs the Christopher's restaurant in Aldergate, which is opposite the Tamworth Enterprise Centre, where the chamber is based, and where a lot of businesses use her restaurant and her cafe and her outside sitting area as a hub really for some of their meetings. So it's great to have you here, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good. And I understand a busy day yesterday with your Sunday roast offer, which will come on in a moment. Yeah, but sounds like you've had a busy time of it. So no, really appreciate your time. I suppose the key for me is to ask this first question really about that diversification. Obviously, just tell people a bit about your business as it was and your business as it is now, and how you've diversified and how that is perhaps a positive example for Tamworth in general.
So we've got a 45-seater bistro, so a restaurant, coffee area, drinks, whatever, however it needs to be used, the space, and 19 hotel serviced bedrooms. Obviously, for us, this happened quite early. March the 6th was like a mass exodus. All my fabulous European customers left, rushing to get home before borders were closed. And it became apparent to us that we were going to have to get our thinking caps on very quickly to try and tread water.
Absolutely.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose from a point of view of a lot of those people were staying from businesses around Tamworth and the logistics firms and the sort of the larger businesses out in the sort of out in the outside. That must have been
our business is corporate, and obviously with everybody, it was like a mass shutdown, wasn't it, for everybody? You got to work from home, so just a switch went off straight away. We can only support key workers at the moment, whether they be from power, energy, those so when people say key workers, they're thinking just
nurses or but there's more to it than that.
There's a lot more to it than that, and we have had a tiny little bit of business from that area, but nothing really. So it became apparent to us that we've got to sort out another means of income.
Absolutely. And how did that process work? Obviously, you saw that coming a little bit earlier, I suppose, with a lot of European customers sort of moving away.
We did.
Was that an immediate thought and think, right, let's get our heads together and start?
I think it started with Mothering Sunday. Everybody was desperate because they'd all booked tables, and all of a sudden they weren't going out to dine anymore. So I contacted the health authority and said, look, we're thinking of diversifying, maybe starting a takeaway, carry away we call it, food, click and collect, and they were very helpful. The rules were changing with the government anyway, but both the planners and the environmental health, fabulous, really good support from those guys, and we kind of trialled it on the Mothering Sunday. I then took the decision to close the restaurant before we were told we had to, because I could see that staff were really worried. And it's such a close proximity environment to work in. You've got to think about their health. Some people are living with vulnerable people. So we just had a mass shutdown. And then we did sort of sit twiddling our thumbs. Well, we didn't twiddle our thumbs because I was going after finance like mad. Because I thought as soon as I could find out about the different grants that were coming through, I wanted to make sure that I could secure my team as much as possible.
I know when we'd spoke sort of on and off over the last few months, and you'd said that the most important thing from you first was to try and secure the future of your workers in whatever way that was possible. How did you find that process, and did that work quite well for a business like yourself in the hospitality trade?
I'll be quite honest with you, it was one of the most stressful periods of my life ever. So the diversification was quite stressful. It's finding the right packaging, making sure your product looks like a little mini Christopher's at home. You've got to find new suppliers. You've got to make sure they're reputable. So all that takes time and a bit of headspace as well. Plus you're trying to develop menu ideas. to make sure that you're getting the right kind of product to your customers, and they're not going to be disappointed. They don't want to get something and go, oh, it's got to be good. It's got to be really good. So you've got all that stress. But I think it's good for you. I mean, I always like a challenge. I like change. I kind of thrive on it, really. So I'm good at reinventing things. But that's part of the business. I think if you want to thrive, if you want to survive and then thrive, you've got to just keep changing and diversifying, and that's really important at the moment.
Yeah, and that's what you've done as a business where you can. And I suppose you also mentioned around the staff and that overarching passion and care for your staff, I think has certainly come through in how you've discussed things and looked at things.
Yeah, we really, really wanted to make sure that we could look after the team for as long as possible, because we've worked hard to get a nice crew around us that are delivering our ethos, and making people feel really welcome in the environment. It's not just a place where you're faceless. So we've always wanted people to feel very comfortable in our environment. That was one of the main sort of things. That's why we don't really refer to ourselves as a restaurant. We just want to be a nice, relaxed bistro. Yeah. So if you just want a coffee, it's not a problem. If you just wanted to have a glass of wine, it's not a problem. Obviously, we can't use our space at the moment for the foreseeable, but we still want to carry the same kind of feeling to what we're delivering to people at home, or what they're collecting off us to eat at home.
And you mentioned as well regarding absolutely, and regarding that sort of word of mouth and the use of social media, where people sort of started to pick up on your Sunday lunches and your other ideas, and then you found more and more people have started to build.
Social media has been an absolute blessing for us. There would have been no other way of us communicating. Okay, you can send an email out, but that's direct marketing. Whereas social media, all sorts of people are picking up on it, especially because they're all trapped at home at the moment. Yeah. And they're all spending more time on social media. But we've managed to secure ourselves, as I call them, raving fans. They're brilliant. Because they're helping push the word out as well. I've only got to say, to people, mind sharing for me, and it just goes bang.
Absolutely.
And I would say to people, just start. If you're frightened of it, don't be frightened. Just get on there. Just have a go. Just you'll be surprised at the results you can get. You'll be surprised. Absolutely. And targeting it as well, because Facebook tends to be sort of a bit more of a not being ageist, a more, say, a general kind of audience you're targeting. Yeah. Whereas Instagram is more your under 30s. Fact.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose it's that targeting, but having people who have, I think, as we've said previously, the confidence to go and do it first, and then see that it works well, come home and tell 2 or 3 people in their house or relatives, and then share it on social media, and then you find that some more sort of older people, perhaps, who wouldn't necessarily come out the house as much, but are actually thinking, we've got the confidence to do that. And
I think because they feel secure in the way we've set up our system, you've got a 10-minute time slot, you phone up, you pay over the phone, everything's contactless. It's all, social distancing is in place when you arrive at the restaurants, whether you're using the car park or if you're just walking into the front. You can't get into the restaurant as such. There's a table at the front. Hand gels there for you if you need it. We've got everything lined up for people just to make them feel safe. It's really important that people feel safe. Really important.
That's the vital thing, isn't it? No, absolutely. So you've got your raving fans, you've gone through the stress, you're coming out the other side slowly but surely, I'm sure. When can we come? When can we order? How does it work?
Right, okay, so we man the phones from Wednesday through to Saturday, sometimes on a Sunday morning as well, if we've got enough time, because we are really busy, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Also, if people want to get hold of me, I'm the person answering the social media messages, so if you send me your phone number, we will always give you a call, because sometimes the phone lines are really busy and it's quite difficult for people to get through on occasion. So if you want our food, we've got Friday fish, which is a bit more than Friday fish because I can't control Chris. So we've got
Chris is your chef.
Chris is the main man, the main man. Christopher, he is Christopher. So he's there creating menus, which I do push out on social media. Yeah. So Friday, fish and chips in essence, but Christopher styling. Wednesday to Saturday, you can get a really lovely afternoon tea. I think we're about to launch the savoury afternoon teas as well. That is in the pipeline. So you've got the choice there. And then on Sundays, it's the Sunday lunch. Grab your Sunday lunch. And if you've forgotten your wine, you can always ask me about the wine as well.
Okay, fantastic. That's brilliant. And lastly, as advice to other businesses and other local businesses in Tamworth or further afield, what are some of the things that you would suggest and advice to go and do this sort of thing? What's your advice?
Don't give yourself a headache if you're a caterer, certainly. Just test it the first day you're opening, I don't know, 20 covers or whatever you're doing. Just limit yourself, just so that you feel comfortable in your business, because it's been a stressful time, and it's really important that you just get back open and start to manage it. Listen to the government advice. Their guidelines are fantastic. Just follow those, and you'll feel safe in your environment and get your business back open, so you're there fighting for your cause. And now's a good time, actually, because you can trial different ideas that you were thinking of. We've been thinking about doing takeaway for 5 years.
And it's spread.
It takes COVID-19 to push us into doing it, but we got there.
Absolutely. And it certainly sounds like the ethos and your passion for your business and your surroundings, I think, has certainly been transferred through your chef and through your other staff to deliver that. So that's great. Sarah, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. We look forward to visiting you soon. And have a great week and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.